Paul was truly passionate about the preaching of the gospel. Why? Because he knew it was the power of God until salvation. He knew that the world needed the gospel. It still does. And so do we, daily, in a fresh and new way. The good thing is the Bible is now more accessible than ever before in history. Yet, we're engaging in it less. There's a survey by George Barna that illustrates this. He interviewed 2013 people and asked them about their level of engagement in God's Word. And you'll see on the slide that the combination of the first three, Bible-centered, Bible-engaged, and Bible-friendly, that totals 43%. The Bible disengaged, 48%, and then there's 9% that's neutral. The big difference between Bible-centered and Bible-engaged is one thing. It really wasn't shaping their daily lives. So, and that's what we really need. We need it to be shaping our lives. Joshua 1:8 promises success when we know God's word and we obey it. Deuteronomy 6, which is a very good, just read the whole chapter, but in verse 3 it says, listen, be careful to listen and to obey. And if you do, things will go well for you. We want that, right? We want our life to go well. We want success. And these are not just words in the Bible. Oh, Monica, it's just the Bible. It's going to promote itself. No, there's actually, again, Barna statistics that demonstrate with the level of engagement. So on the slide, higher priority on the Bible when living their faith in public. There's high engagement, moderate engagement, and low engagement. It's really interesting. The two questions, I could feel confident sharing my faith with someone I just met, and I would feel confident sharing my faith with a close friend who is not a Christian. Those that were highly engaged in God's word, 78% said they would not have a problem. It didn't change from whether it was a friend or a stranger. They were confident in sharing their faith. This is what the world needs. The world needs what we have. Yet those who do not, and these are Christians surveyed, that do not engage, they have a low level, 16 and 18% is their confidence in sharing their faith. So that's, again, essential. And also there's another slide, the lives reflecting the fruit of the Spirit. So let's just focus on one of the fruit being goodness. Goodness being they regularly seek God for wisdom on how to help them do the right thing. So they regularly seek God for wisdom to help them do the right thing. Those that are heavily engaged in God's word, 88% said they turn to the Lord to help them do the right thing. Those that do not have a heavy engagement in God's word only come to the Lord 27% of the time. So again, we want to do the right thing. As Christians, we want to do the right thing. Yet if we're not engaged in God's word, it's difficult to do that. We are not so likely to turn to him. So Deuteronomy 6 also goes on to discuss the teaching of God's word to children, to talk to them about it, to impress it on them. This is a diligent teaching of God's word. Because God knows that they're young, they're impressionable. This is where they form their worldview. So what we put in front of our kids is what's shaping their worldview. Think for yourself, what is my child frequently engaged in? I don't want to go to the list of things that absolutely terrify me when I find out Christian children in Christian homes are engaging in this movie or this activity or this game or this book. They need to be engaged in God's word. As a family, we need to be engaged in God's word. So, how do I do this, Monica? How do we engage in God's word as a family? Well, you know what? The church needs it too. This community needs it. So what we're going to do is starting in the fall, we're going to have what's called the Bible Engagement Project. Great title, huh? And the Bible study is called Listen, which is what Deuteronomy 6 says. It says listen. Listening to what God is saying. He's giving us a very passionate and powerful plea, please listen to my word and obey it, and things will go well for you. So there's all sorts of things that we're going to be having. We're going to have age-specific teaching for this preschool, for the DK, for the youth, for adults. And then there'll also be applications for home discussion, because that's what Deuteronomy 6 says. We should talk to our children about it in the morning and at night and when we're driving down the road, or they were walking down the road. But when we're going about our life, we should talk about what we're learning in God's word. So as what the kids are learning, so also the adults will be learning. And then we can talk about it together as a family and as a church family. My prayer is, as a result of the Bible Engagement Project, that we as a church family, as individuals, and as families, individual families, will become stronger in God's word. That this will be something that will shape their lives and that will continue on even when we're not doing the Bible Engagement Project anymore. You'll see the fruit of being engaged as a family, because that's really how we grow, is when we work together as a family in God's word. Thanks for listening.